It was a star-making performance for Kyle Fletcher. He took that step up from being good to being great, and he is on his way up to the top. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Ramblin' Bout Wrestling podcast. If you're new here, welcome. We had a very exciting weekend down in New Jersey at the Prudential Center for AEW Full Gear 2024. When I bought these tickets, it was in the spur of the moment. I said, you know what? What the hell? We were Grand Slam. They had a good deal with the pre-sale code there. All right, I bought 4 tickets. Me and the boys were supposed to go. Then 2 of them backed out. So it was just me and my boy Velarde. We had a great time. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what it was like traveling to Jersey and all the events going on around the Prudential Center, leading into an excellent pay-per-view where there were all hits, really no misses. Whenever I go to a pay-per-view, I like to get there early. Very, very early. A lot of people don't like that. I just like to be there. If we gotta wait in line for an hour, we gotta wait in line for an hour. You know, I want to get my merchandise. I want to get a good seat. I want to get a hot dog. I didn't end up getting a hot dog this time. I got a pizza that was very cold. Wasn't really a pizza. Besides the point. So we're driving past American Dream Mall. I like to call it the Mall of America, but that's in a different state, a completely different mall. I even posted about it, tagged the wrong mall. Forget that even happened. And my boy is like, yo, Nick, this is that big mall that we always wanted to go to. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I remembered that GCW was running a show there at 2 o'clock. I said, you know what? We got some time to kill. We don't have to check into the hotel until 4. Why not go to the mall, see some things that we've never seen before, and then enjoy a show? So we walk in. The mall is massive, by the way. We go in through the freaking rich section. We were not going to be indulging in any of those products. We don't have the funds for that here. We walked through, very impressed with this mall. We could have met Santa. We didn't. We go straight to the middle of the mall, where lo and behold, there is a GCW ring all set up on the first floor. Very, very exciting. You could buy tickets, or you could just stand there and watch for free. I said, oh, free is for me. We'll walk around the mall for a little bit, and we'll just stand here so we don't lose a spot. And that's exactly what we ended up doing. We got a spot right next to the escalator in the corner. We were a little squished, but we got some insane footage, watched some great matches. You could actually see behind where they had the little stage area, and you could see Matt Cardona doing push-ups before he went out for his match. You see Reggie just walking around. Everybody that's going to be involved on this show, they have the production table there. Everybody that's involved is just standing there in the little makeshift backstage area. And where did they get changed, you may ask? Because they're in the middle of a mall. They had another store that was like directly next to where the ring was, that they would just go in, get changed, walk out, and they would just chill around over there. Really interesting to see. It's a very unique venue. A lot of echoes, as you could pack a ton of people into this little area. The only thing is that there's no screen. So if you can't see, you're a duck out of luck. So we had a great time. We stayed for an hour and a half. Matt Cardona and one called Manders had a banger match. JBL showed up at the end to hit a clothesline from hell. Ricky Starks came down from the escalator across from us. I wish he came down our escalator. Just a lot of cool moments. We saw Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, who was dressing up as Saint Mick in the crowd, then came to go out as regular Mick, and then went back, put his Santa outfit back on, was handing more stuff out. It was just a whole lot of fun. And a great appetizer for what was to come later on at Full Gear. We only stayed at the show for like an hour and a half because we needed to check in. The Doubletree Hotel, maybe 8-minute walk to get to the Prudential Center. We got one of the last rooms, and our refrigerator didn't work. They had another mini fridge in there because the one fridge said out of order. I'm like, well, great. We're not going to be able to have any cool drinks. We can't get food and have leftovers. They also didn't have a ton of options for food. There's a restaurant down underneath us. Besides that, if you wanted something cheaper, you had to walk to a McDonald's. You had to drive 10 minutes to a Wawa. Chilled out in the hotel room for a bit. Walked over to Prudential Center for AEW Full Gear. Doors opened at 6. We got there maybe 5:35, 5:40. We didn't get there as early as I would have liked. and there were a ton of people standing outside. There were 10,000 people that bought tickets to this show. So the line behind us was massive. I was like, thank God we got here when we did. Never been to Prudential Center before. It's very nice, very clean, very spacious. The food was not up to par. Like, I don't even know what that pizza was. A Gatorade, I think it was $8 for a blue Gatorade. What are we doing? Find our seats. Great view as always. You just know I had to buy a hologram mask. So I'm sitting in my seat. Velarde doesn't even want to know who the hell I am. He's like, who is this guy? Am I even here? You don't even know. I may not even be here. I'm a hologram. Only issue I had with these seats is that, yes, we were close, but people, I've never been to a show where so many people would go up and down the stairs every freaking minute. My view, although the ring, it was great, I was blocked by tons of people. But you can't really tell. If you look on the YouTube, I started posting some of the full matches and some entrances from the show. If you haven't checked them out yet, go ahead and do it. You hear me screaming. You hear Velarde screaming like a, sometimes I could scream like a little girl. But if you watch that Big Boom AJ match with QT Marshall, I'm screaming pretty loud. But Velarde screaming even higher. I will never let him live that down. The crowd all night was hot. It was a hot crowd. From the pre-show to the main card, everything was exciting. Now, we sat there for 5 hours for this show. Not disappointed in any matches. I did get a little run down, though. The match in particular that really wore us all out was Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, the best match by far out of any on this card. It was a star-making performance for Kyle Fletcher. We knew he was good. We didn't know he was this good. He took that step up from being good to being great, and he is on his way up to the top. You can compare his looks to Randy Orton when he was just starting out in 2001, 2002. Kyle Fletcher will be that next big thing. He will be the legend killer. The thing is, AEW doesn't have all of these legends that have been in the company for all these years. They have some, but you have major players like Will Ospreay, like Okada, like the Young Bucks, all of these guys that you can now put Kyle Fletcher in the ring with, and he could be viewed as being on the same level as them because he beat Will Ospreay clean. Whenever you get a Will Ospreay match, you know it's going to be highly regarded. Not only did we witness a 5-star match, we witnessed the start of something really special with Kyle Fletcher. From his entrance all the way to that... He's got it. He's finally figured it out. And he didn't need Don Callis to do any shenanigans throughout the match. We're not going to touch on every single match from this card, because then I'd be talking forever. And I got a massage and acupuncture appointment to go to. Another match in their series, I think this is their fifth singles match, Hangman Adam Page and Switchblade Jay White. Look, this is going to be a different type of match because they don't like each other. But they're all about the mind games. You start this match off slow, and it really was a very slow match. Very methodical. Not one that you see in AEW usually. And they slowly built until they hit that crescendo right at the end of the match where Hangman goes for the buckshot, gets countered, gets countered. Switchblade finally hits the Blade Runner. 1, 2, 3. Hangman Adam Page just can't catch a break with Switchblade. He just can't. From going to this amazing feud with Swerve, he's at an all-time high, and everybody's saying the same thing. You need to push this guy back into the world title picture. You can't do that. And what they're doing right now is genius. He has found his kryptonite. He cannot beat Jay White clean. Hangman Page cannot beat Jay White clean. I don't know if he's ever going to do it clean. There's always going to be an asterisk whenever Hangman comes out on top with him. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. They're evenly matched. It's just Hangman can't get the job done. The same thing Swerve used to say. When it means most, you always drop the ball. They're both going to be in the main event title picture very, very soon. And we'll get into it after we talk about the main event. Another star-making performance that we want to talk about, Kris Statlander. Oh my God, she's had big-time matches, but nothing like this against Mercedes Moné. They went out there, they started off slow, crowd really wasn't into it, and then it just builds and builds and builds. And Statlander kicks out of the moneymaker. Crowd begins to realize we might be seeing a title change. People start standing up out of their seats. This is the longest AEW women's match of all time, and it is one of the best. Statlander will be the one to dethrone Mercedes. It's just going to take a little bit longer than we think. When all was said and done, she got rolled up. So they will revisit this, and it will be an even bigger match, an even better match, a match with a stipulation maybe, where Statlander will come out on top, two-time TBS champion, and this reign will mean something more. Because she is more than a woman. She's an alien. For a big-time pay-per-view, you need to have a big-time match for your big-time talent. And when I'm talking about big-time, I'm talking Big Bob. Bobby Lashley versus Swerve Strickland. Supposed to be Bobby Lashley's AEW in-ring debut. They had that happen on Dynamite. Had a nice squash 2-on-1. So Bobby Lashley, Swerve Strickland. We knew it was going to be good. I really thought this match would be a squash match. Thank God it wasn't, because Bobby Lashley hasn't had the opportunity to work a full, long match, big story involved. He hasn't had that opportunity in a while. Even in WWE, he never got the chance to perform, really. He put them in the Hurt Lock, and that was it. He was booked like that big unstoppable beast, and he will be that big unstoppable beast here. It's just, do that against the lower card guys when you're getting in there with a main event level talent like Swerve Strickland. You want to be on the even playing field, or else you risk the issue of having that unstoppable guy at the top that once he drops one match, that's it. Swerve Strickland sold very, very well for Bob. Some great spots in this match, in particular the one with the stairs where Swerve jumps off, does the Swerve stomp through the Spanish announce table onto Bobby Lashley. And the end of the match, big time spear by Bob. Locks in the Hurt Lock, and that's it. Exactly how it should have gone. And then the Hurt Syndicate come out together and they attack Prince Nana as well, leaving the both of them laying in the middle of the ring. If you missed the Hurt Business, this is going to be 10 times better. Homie, I'm leading the way. DG on top. How about you keeping it? You got a lot of younger talent in this company, and this matchup is the epitome of young talent that will be future world champions. You got the TNT champion Jack Perry defending his belt against Daniel Garcia, the fan favorite. Not exactly in his hometown, but close enough. Daniel Garcia recently re-signed with AEW a couple of months ago, so this is his reward, basically. They had a good match, back and forth. Daniel Garcia defeats the Scapegoat to become the TNT champion for the first time ever. He will be that guy who will put on consistent performance after consistent performance. He will have a long reign with this belt. He will have open challenges with this belt. What this belt needs is someone to raise that level of prestige. You got a bunch of mid-card championships, Continental Crown, International, TNT, all these belts, they need to be viewed as equals. In the AEW Continental Classic, that's where you decide the Continental Champion. International Championship should be defended all over the world in all different companies. It gets that sometimes, but recently it hasn't. But I just like Takeshita. You know how it is. TNT Championship, it's got its open challenges. Makes it something different. So Danny Garcia defeats Jack Perry, makes him tap out in the middle of the ring. Then Danny Garcia doesn't even celebrate, he just runs to the back. I don't know if it's because they're short on time or Danny Garcia just didn't feel like celebrating. I wish we got the dance. I don't know if we're ever getting that back. This is the Red Death Daniel Garcia, and people need to be afraid. Moving right on to the main event of the show. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. And going in, people knew Cassidy wasn't going to win. I think a lot of people are under the assumption, and it just makes sense, that Darby Allin will be the one to take the belt off of Mox. When that happens, I couldn't tell you. But they make their entrances. Orange Cassidy is mega over. and we see a little piece of confetti flying down from the top of the ring from our seats. And we start panicking because we thought going in, obviously, Jon Moxley's going to win. We see that little confetti. Wait a minute. Is Orange Cassidy actually going to pull this one off? Which got us more invested. And I think we got our whole section invested too, because we kept saying it over and over. There's confetti. There's confetti. The thing is, the confetti wasn't orange. What color was it? Gray. White. So I said, is Cassidy going to win? And then is Christian Cage going to cash in and win the belt after the match? So we were just coming up with all these theories during this 20-something minute match. Back and forth as usual. Orange Cassidy pulls his inner Roman Reigns, hits that orange punch a bunch of times, thinking he's going to pull it off, hits the beach break. Moxley keeps kicking out. Brutal match. Moxley scratching the back of Cassidy. Cassidy turning it around and scratching the back of Moxley. Eye for an eye. That's exactly how this new Death Rider group rolls. End of the match comes, and you got the Death Riders interfering. Wheeler Yuta's nowhere to be seen. You got the conglomeration coming out. You got Willow Nightingale coming out. I thought Wheeler maybe was having second thoughts, which is why he didn't run out with the Death Riders. I was wrong. He was just waiting. He comes out with his hoodie on, beats up Orange Cassidy. Moxley gets the win. People in the crowd start getting up and leaving. I said, dude, we didn't even see the graphic yet. They didn't put the lower third up. Something's going to happen. Out comes Christian Cage. Christian! I start screaming because I said, oh my God, we saw the confetti. Is Christian going to cash in on Moxley? He hits the freaking kill switch on Mox. Hangman and Christian have a little exchange where Christian tells Hangman, I will give you the first shot. Give me my contract. Hangman hands it over because they were kind of doing a tug of war with it. Christian goes to cash in. Out comes Jay White. All of them are intertwined. All of these stories are finally coming together into one. You could have a mega group that does not coexist going up against the Death Riders, but that is not what's gonna happen. We're gonna get some type of multi-person match. Maybe each of them gets their opportunity at Mox. So Moxley and the Death Riders get the hell out of there, go to the backstage area where a car comes flying and crashes into theirs. Out comes Darby Allin all bloody, because why do you need a stunt double when Darby Allin could be driving that car and crash into it legitimately? So Darby's a little banged up, calling out Mox again. Just a lot going on in their main event picture. Coming out of this show, we have more questions than answers, which is exactly what a pay-per-view should do. Makes you want to tune into Dynamite on Wednesday, Collision on Saturday. Am I happy I went to this show? 100%. My throat still hurts from it. You pay $60 for a ticket, you're getting your money's worth. Let's get into the future a little bit of the Ramblin' About Wrestling podcast before I jump in the car to go get my acupuncture and massage. There will be a season finale dropping later on this week. I don't know if it's going to be a Thanksgiving edition or if it's going to be on a Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. We will be talking WWE Survivor Series predictions, and then we'll go on a little break heading into season 4 of the Ramblin' About Wrestling podcast. It will be 1 year during season 4 of the podcast, and there's no better way to do it than theme it around my favorite pay-per-view of all time, the Royal Rumble. So I have been your host, Nick Pearl. Be on the lookout for the season 3 finale of the Rambling About Wrestling podcast coming soon, and we will have a lot of stuff to ramble on about in season 4. We'll get some more guests coming on, some more wrestlers. We just recently had Evil Kip of Creator Pro, the Dropkick Depression World Champion, one half of the Creator Pro Tag Team Champions. If you didn't check out that interview yet, go give it a watch, go give it a listen. It was a very, very fun interview where we talked to him, and we also talked to the musician that made his brand new theme song, I Am Evil, Nola Vita, a very, very talented musician. Go check her out as well. I've been your host, Nick Pearl, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let's keep rambling, everybody.